Rude. I'm with Global Public Affairs, and I'm today here on behalf of MyViva and the team at University of Alberta and Alexa Simulation. It's my pleasure to bring to you the launch of a virtual avatar called You're Okay, or better known as Yaro, that we have developed here in Alberta for helping Canadians with mental health, and especially at this time with COVID-19. So I've been working with the MyViva team and other partners in developing the virtual mental health and digital journaling for the past year. And today we're pleased to be launching You're Okay, or Yaro for Albertans and Canadians. And with that, I'd like to introduce some of the team members that have been integral to make this happen between both the academic world and one of our companies here, MyViva. So as I call your name, please wave your as your name is being called out so people know who you are. I know that in Zoom gives you your name, but just in case. So Laureen Wales is the CEO of MyViva Inc. Mike Stewart, he is the Vice President of MyViva of Business Development. Valerie Dufour, she is the XR Art Director for U of A Rehab Medicine, Robotic Laboratory, and Electrostimulation. And Nathaniel Media, he's the Technology R&D Specialist at the U of A Rehab Medicine and Robotic Laboratories and Electrostimulation. One of our key participants, Dr. Martin Ferguson Pell, unfortunately could not join us today. He's the professor of Faculty of Rehab Medicine and also the CEO of Electrostimulation. Few housekeeping items before we get started. If you have a question, please submit your questions through the chat box in the browser in Zoom. The questions, there will be a follow-on Q&A session following the formal presentations. And we will have my colleague Connor Mahoney. He will share his credentials, emails, and phone and contact information in the chat box, and you can reach him directly, and he will he will basically bring the questions up. In addition, the session will be recorded, and you can also contact Connor if you want a copy of this session, because there will be a fantastic demonstration as one of the presentations in this as well. So just give you a quick background on what Yaro is all about. Yaro is unique and comes to us at a time when Canadians need it the most. With the ongoing pandemic, economic uncertainty, health concerns about ourselves and loved ones, Yaro is a groundbreaking mobile app designed to help Canadians get engaged and manage their mental health in dealing with the stress of everyday life, but more importantly, to deal with the mental health impact that is caused by today's COVID-19 pandemic. Today, we're releasing the first version of Yaro to help our fellow Canadians. Yaro provides users with an evidence-based journaling approach to promote mental and physical health using augmented reality, guided interaction, and encouragement through daily journaling and reflecting. Through Yaro, MyViva Inc., and our partners at the U of A and Lexer simulations will contribute to expanding capacity to deliver healthcare virtually, including projects to reach vulnerable Canadians. This virtual support program is designed to help Canadians take control of their health, which will assist in easing the burden of our healthcare system. Now, I would like to introduce to you Ms. Laureen Wales, who's the CEO of MyViva Inc. Laureen is an energetic and passionate person and a dietitian who believes that a healthy lifestyle contributes to better health outcomes and longevity. Laureen spent the first 10 years of her career in nephrology department at the University Hospital site. Witnessing firsthand, Laureen was motivated, was detrimental in effects of the poor individual health management, and Laureen was motivated to build a private practice from ground up, focused on prevention and better management of overall health. Therefore, Laureen has launched MyViva Inc., which is an innovative digital health and lifestyle company consisting of healthcare professionals, including dietitians, psychologists, diabetes educators, kinesiologists, and physicians to help Canadians to take control of their overall health and well-being. The MyViva platform helps individuals manage their mental and physical health and can be a management tool for their chronic conditions such as obesity and diabetes or cardiovascular disease and mental health. Without further ado, I'll ask Laureen to give an overview of Yaro. Laureen, over to you.
Thanks, Fareed. Thank you, everyone, for joining us at the launch of our UROK app. The majority of my career has been spent working with people who have a chronic health condition such as obesity, diabetes, heart disease, kidney disease, and many with compounding mental health issues. I realized early on in my career that the key to improving health outcomes has two fundamental components. One, it's critical to get individuals engaged in their health. And two, it's important to ensure their care is holistic and assesses their mental health in addition to their physical health. Over the past couple of decades, our healthcare system has continually expanded its services to manage chronic health conditions such as obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. But according to a report published by the federal government in 2015 titled Unleashing Innovation, Excellent Healthcare for Canada, we have some work to do in improving our approach with respect to chronic disease management. Our current state of health in Canada supports this evaluation. 64% of adult Canadians are considered overweight or obese. 30% live with diabetes, of which 90 to 95% have type 2 diabetes. 21 to 24% live with hypertension, and mental illness is the leading cause of disability in Canada. All of these health conditions are chronic, and as such, they require each individual to get engaged in managing their self-care alongside their healthcare providers. While they may require additional procedures, medications, or therapies along the way, there is one truth I have learned as a healthcare provider. Optimal mental and physical health that is sustained over the long run is impossible without self-care. In addition to self-care, it's also important to understand that mental and physical health are connected. We can't have one without the other. So when it comes to solutions to help improve health outcomes for people living with chronic health conditions, siloed approaches that address only one aspect aren't as effective as those that use a holistic approach. It was this very problem as healthcare professionals that led us down the path of embarking on building a digital program called MyViva Plan to integrate into our practice to assist our clients with managing their health conditions on a daily basis. While nutrition is my area of specialty, I knew I couldn't help improve someone's nutritional state if they were struggling with depression or if they were physically inactive. So we added psychologists and kinesiologists to our team, in addition to medical advisors and researchers, to create a holistic digital program to help individuals take control of their health. One of the most powerful components of my Viva Plan is the daily journaling and reflecting we encourage clients to do. They collect some data points throughout their day so they can see how their behaviors are affecting their mood, sleep, energy level, stress, food choices, etc., and how this impacts their overall mental and physical health. This is a component of cognitive behavioral theory and has proven to have positive impact on mental health, including decreasing anxiety, depression, improving self-esteem, self-confidence, and overall building resiliency. I tell my clients if there's only one thing that I encourage them to remember each and every day, and is to journal or reflect. It can take as little as 2 minutes each day. When they're feeling overwhelmed, it's the one thing that they discover keeps them grounded. From there, everything else simply falls into place because they will be evaluating how they're fueling their body, moving their body, sleeping, and how they're feeling. Behavior change, though, is one of the most frustrating things we all deal with as humans. We know what we should be doing, but somehow we don't seem to execute it consistently. As healthcare professionals, we are tenacious about helping people improve their health outcomes, and we knew that creating My Viva plan was just the beginning. We knew it was going to continually evolve to include machine learning, and we always knew we wanted to use virtual reality to build an avatar to act as an accountability buddy, which would help the user be accountable to the most important person, themselves. We started doing some research in this area a couple of years ago, which led us to be introduced in January this year to the Elixir team headed by Dr. Ferguson Pell in the Faculty of Rehab Medicine at the University of Alberta. Initially, we were going to start with an avatar to help with physical fitness, and then the pandemic hit. We immediately started seeing the negative impact the pandemic was having on mental health, and Martin said to me, maybe we need to pivot and focus on building the avatar to help people do their daily reflections and journaling. So we submitted a grant proposal to Roche Canada, and in April, we learned we were one of 11 projects granted funding out of 840 applicants. And that still chokes me up for some reason. Creating the name of our app and the name of our avatar took some brainstorming, and we made sure the names um, and when we made sure, sorry, that the names weren't taken or that they didn't have negative meaning, and trust me, there's a story behind that one, we agreed our app would be called You Are Okay, and our avatar's name would be Yaro. Y from the U, AR from augmented reality, and the O from okay. It wasn't until after our final meeting that one of our East Indian colleagues asked us if we knew the meaning of Yaro in Punjabi. As it turns out, Yaro means friend, confidant, someone who you would share your thoughts and concerns and joys with. When we learned this, we felt it was serendipitous, and so Yaro was born. Our next step was to determine what type of character Yaro would be. We settled on a dog because dogs are used a great deal as a part of mental health therapy. We spent the summer building Yaro, and October, we were busy alpha testing. And today, we are pleased to announce that we are ready for beta testing. The pandemic is having a negative impact on everyone's mental health and compounding previous mental health conditions. Recently, a Ledger poll found 24% of Canadians stated their mental health is worse compared to the first wave. In May, an Ipsos poll found 56% of Canadians polled said their mental health suffered, yet only 42% sought treatment. You Are Okay is a solution that can help build resiliency through daily journaling and engaging in self-care. This isn't a resource, but actual treatment we use as healthcare professionals in our daily practice, and we want to help. So, over the next few months, we are offering our You Are Okay app free of charge to all adult Canadians to help our communities build resiliency. We are reaching out to all Canadians who have chronic health conditions, parents, healthcare providers, teachers, etc., to offer our support. None of us know when this pandemic is going to be over, which is worrisome to us all. But regardless of the pandemic, there is one thing that has not changed. We all need to do self care. And now you have Yaro to help you stay accountable in doing so. Yaro will talk you through doing your daily reflections, making your daily chore a little more fun and interactive. There will be a link posted in the chat for you to copy and paste into your smartphone to download the app. You can also find a link on our homepage at myvivainc.com. There are two links, one for iOS, Apple devices, and one for Android. Since we are in beta test mode, it is run through test flight on iOS systems, and Android devices simply just press the link and get started. As with the new program, or pardon me, as with any new program, we're looking for feedback and have integrated the ability for users to provide feedback when they use the program. With respect to privacy and security, we're PIPEDA compliant. All the data entered is anonymous. No personal identifying information is collected, which is all explained in our privacy and terms of use policies. All the voice data is converted to text. uploaded to our database, and all that data is stored in Canada. During our beta testing phase, Yaro is only going to be speaking English for right now. So now I would like to turn it over to Val, who is going to introduce you to Yaro and show you how he works.
Thanks, Lorraine. That was truly inspiring, the passion and the hard work that you and your team have put together into this. So before we turn it into Val, I'm just going to give a quick introduction on the Elixir and U of A team and give a background on who Val is. So the U of A and through the Faculty of Rehab Medicine and Elixir Simulation, they have been working on Yaro for the past year, past a few months, sorry, and they have been led by Dr. Martin Ferguson Pell, as Lorraine mentioned. The U of A team and Elixir were put together through a partnership between the Faculty of Rehab Medicine and Smart Technologies Innovations, or ST Innovations, which is a commercialization part of the smart network at U of A that helps companies to develop their health technologies. And we're proud to say that this is one of the first projects that have gone through that program. And Elixir, as part of that program, has helped MyViva in realizing the potential of their virtual mental health tool and making the development of Yaro possible today. So at the beginning, I introduced Valerie and Nathaniel from that team. They are truly the digital architects at Elixir Simulation who have created Yaro. And Valerie, in a moment, is going to talk about and demo Yaro for you. But a little bit of background on Valerie. She's a self-proclaimed design futurist and a marketing guru. And she's an XR art director, VR sculptor, and 3D generalist, and a leading designer of Yaro. And I hope everybody understands what those acronyms are. They're a mouthful: extended reality, virtual reality, and 3D, which is a lot to take in. Valerie's specialty is in brand and identity management with a focus on visual communications, and she's dedicated to changing the human perspective via visual communication. Valerie is a true advocate for adoption of new technologies for pragmatic solutions. She is here today to introduce you to Yaro. Over to you, Val, for the demo. Thank you.
Thank you for the intro. You can hear me, right? I feel like I gotta ask every single time. Yeah, so my name is Valerie. I'm the XR designer at the University of Alberta and also with Elixir Simulations. And like I have the ultimate privilege and joy to be able to show you guys Yaro today, which is so exciting for me to be able to like work on this for so long with the rest of the team, Lorene, Farid, Nathaniel, everybody. And I think that we're all really excited to be able to show you exactly what our augmented reality isolation, and originally intended isolation buddy, and hopefully long-term buddy for users' self-reflection in terms of their mental health and wellness. So without further ado, I'm a show, don't tell kind of person. So I'm going to share my screen with everyone. Pray for me. Let's hope this works. All right, we good? Cool. Alrighty, so I'm just going to quickly give you a demonstration of what Yaro actually is. So when you open up your phone and you download the application, you'll be able to see this privacy screen in which you'll be able to see what we are collecting in terms of data, how your data is stored and managed. For the first iteration, it will be an anonymous user that's free for all Canadians, which we're really excited about. But eventually we will be integrating this with MyViva Plan, which will have more personalized goals, settings, and that kind of reflection just for the individual users themselves. So I'm just gonna go ahead and hit play. So it'll initially show you how to place Yaro. In which case, this is my living room counter. And if you see these little dots here, these dots are actually tracking the 3D location of your space in front of you. So the joy of augmented reality and why we created Yaro in augmented reality is that we really wanted to be able to say, hey, we know that you in this time are probably looking for somebody to be able to reach out to. And because we don't really know if we'll ever come out of isolation truly quickly yet in this time, we wanted to be able to port your buddy into the space with you and give you a sense of like, oh, hey, no, this is actually my friend, and we're going to hang out together in my living room or in my bedroom or even on the kitchen. Who knows? So the idea is that the camera will be able to port Yaro into the space in front of you, and you'll be able to interact with him. So in which case you tap the screen and...
Hey, it's you again. Thanks for coming back to see me. On a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate your energy level?
So this is Yaro. We're very excited to have you hear him for the first time too. His voice actor was completely chosen for the purpose of being able to soothe the user as well, and to say like, hey, this is Yaro. He has a personality, he's got a voice, and he's here for you. So we really wanted to be able to have the interaction between the user and Yaro be authentic as well. So Yaro is voice activated. So you are able to speak to him naturally as if you were able to speak to any person, and Yaro will listen to you and speak back according to what you've said. And I think that's like the coolest thing. So in this case, he's going to say, on a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate your energy level? So the blue bubble on top will be what Yaro says. The green will be what you will eventually say to him. And I'll walk you through the user interface in a second. So in this case, I will say 4. 4.
Excellent work. On a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate your stress level?
Okay, so I don't know about you guys, but I live in a very noisy house. I have a little brother, which should tell you everything. In which case, we understand that you may also want to answer manually. So you'll be able to click the button on the bottom that says answer manually, in which case it will bring up a series of other buttons. So you'll be able to like click the screen so that you can answer instead. And we believe that this will help mitigate a lot of the issues that you might have with being able to speak to Yaro. If you can't speak to him, we also have other methodologies. So as you can see, I select 4
That's
here.
really hard. I hope it gets better. How many hours of sleep did you get last night?
And so we really wanted to also empathize or have Yaro empathize with our user too. The idea is that if we have Yaro facilitate user reflection, it's kind of hard to speak to yourself, which is kind of an interesting thing to consider, where it's like, if you're in a room, it's going to be hard to reflect. So if we have Yaro be able to kind of foster that conversation between you to find out what you would like to have in terms of reflection, then this would be the best way to do it. And then to also have Yaro answer intelligently, be able to empathize with you and have you understand exactly what it is that you need to know. If Yaro responds, hey, are you feeling well? It might clue in that, hey, maybe I'm not actually feeling well. So in this case, I'm going to tell Yaro that I had a minuscule amount of sleep last night. I didn't actually sleep that badly, so you don't have to worry about me, but let me show you what Yaro can do. 3.
If you find that you're tired, be sure to rest. What's one thing you did well today?
In which case, I find that really cool. And in which case, Yaro will also ask you questions in terms of your own personal well-being. He'll want to know what you're doing in your day, what you're getting up to. Yaro can hear you in terms of long-form answers. So if he's asking you what's one thing you did well today, you can say like, oh, well, I baked bread this morning. I hadn't done that before, and I really liked it. Or, hey, I did my taxes, something like that. So in which case, I'll tell him something. Yaro will be able to speak back to me afterward. And the idea is that when Yaro responds, he kind of gives you a little bit about his day as well. So not only are we able to foster like a kind of life around Yaro, where maybe he's out there doing something himself during the afternoon when you're not around, but also to be able to give our users a prompt to say like, oh, well, maybe I didn't really know what to say this time, but next time I can actually tell Yaro this too. So I ate a balanced breakfast.
Okay, I connected with a friend I haven't talked to in a while. What's one thing that you struggled with?
I didn't sleep very well last night.
Okay, I said something today that I regretted. I didn't mean anything by it, but after I thought about it, I wasn't sure how it came off. What are you grateful for today?
I'm grateful for my friends and family.
Okay, I looked in the mirror and realized, geez, I'm looking good today. Did you eat a balanced breakfast?
Yes.
Your health is very important to me. Did you eat a balanced lunch?
No.
Are you coping well? Please reach out if you need support.
So we're really excited about being able to have a multitude of questions that is really curated and catered to our users so that they can reflect on their best selves to become their best selves. This is really done based on My Viva Plan's input with their dietitians and their health experts to be able to say, hey, these are the things that you really need to look at yourself in a day to be able to perform the best, to be able to change your behaviors and become the best version of yourself. So without further ado, I will continue to walk you through the user interface. In this case, the smaller buttons that you'll see, including replace, hide chat, etc. And also just a quick mention to notice the progression bar on the very bottom. In this case, we want our user to not really experience fatigue, to say like, okay, well, I've answered 12 questions. Am I done yet? This will tell you exactly where you are in terms of your application. And we do encourage our users to go from the beginning to the end of the question sheet to get their best results. So
What food?
If you're able to click show chat will actually change whether or not you see the bubbles on top. Some people aren't big subtitle people. I know this. I live with roommates on Netflix. We're consistently angry about this. But if you want to be able to hide the chat bubbles, you're able to do that. I'm definitely a subtitle person, so I like to be able to see what's being said and what Yaro thinks that I'm saying back to him as well. So
Group was missing from your meal? Grain, fruit, vegetables, or protein?
in this case, we're also able to replace Yaro. So say somebody kicks you out of the living room or somebody needs you to come down into the kitchen and you need to be able to replace Yaro in your space. You can click the button replace Yaro, which was right here previously. You'll see it again after we replace Yaro, but you'll see that these little dots come up again in the space. So it'll retrack the area in which you're in using your camera. You're able to tap the screen to place Yaro in certain spaces again. So if I tapped there, he would show up. If I tapped there, Yaro would show up again. And this doesn't really hinder or interfere with the way that you respond. And so say if I wanted to say something back to Yaro in this case, but again, noisy environment, you're able to answer long form into the questions as well. So in this case, what food group was missing from your meal? Grain, fruit, vegetables, or protein? You could say, I'm missing grain and fruit, or you could just type in whatever your answer is below into the keyboard. And that will show up when you click answer manually. The keyboard should auto-populate. So in which case I'll write grain.
That's all right. You can always try again tomorrow. Did you eat a balanced dinner?
And that is Yaro in a nutshell. And we would continue to show you the rest of the questions, but we would really like for our users to be able to go in, give Yaro a shot themselves. And what's the fun in being able to see everything all the way to the end? So we really encourage you guys here today. You guys will have your first look at Yaro, and we're really excited to be able to show this to you. We hope that it makes a difference in your lives and that you're able to use it effectively. So that's all I have to say. Thank you very much. I'll pass it back to you, Fareed.
Thank you. Thanks, Val, for that demo. That's amazing. So this is again first version. We're getting it beta tested, and we need, as many participations as we could get to get the feedback, and make sure we're developing something that is more interactive and it will keep getting developed further. And so this brings us to the end of the formal presentations of our launch, but I could turn it now to questions and answers. So I'm seeing some questions here on the chat box. So I'm going to start with those questions, and if we don't answer your question, please retype it back to the chat box or to Connor, and we'll make sure it gets read. And if post session you have any questions, please reach out to Connor, and he'll be able to connect you with the right people. The first question, I think, Laureen, this goes to you. Does the app save my data somewhere? And I think you kind of answered it, but maybe elaborate a little bit more.
Yes, so the app, when you speak to Yaro, the voice data is translated into text and it's uploaded to our database, which is stored. We house everything in Azure, Microsoft Azure, which is stored in Canada. No personal identifying information is collected. You don't have to sign up an account or anything, so it's just the data that you enter when you answer the questions.
Great, thank you. So the next couple questions are more around the progress. So as an individual, how can I track my progress as I sign on and off every time? And then how do I check back on my previous answers so I could see how I'm progressing forward?
Mhm. So this is our beta testing version. And we don't have the progress component of Yaro. That actually comes in with an account in my Viva plan. And so if you want to track the free version will always be for anonymous users to come back. Yaro will remember you the next time you come or know that you have come back to see him again, but he won't have any of your data. If you want that data, you will have to set up an account on my Viva plan.
So you don't have to create an account for this version, correct?
No,
Okay.
no account for this version.
Okay. And would anybody access my personal information if I just use the app today?
No, because the app doesn't, you download the app and Yaro starts talking to you, you don't have to set up an account. So there is no personal information that we collect from you if you're using this version of Yaro.
Okay, great. How do I provide feedback as the app is getting developed further? Are there going to be more versions of it released?
So Nathaniel, do you want to comment on the feedback piece? Because this is your area.
Yes, of course. For feedback, please send an email to cogpro@ualberta.ca, and that's listed on the app stores themselves, and I'll put it in the chat here as well.
Thanks, Nathaniel.
Versions. Sorry, Fareed, you asked about future versions. So this is why, as you can tell, I'm a little bit excited about Yaro. This is like a dream come true to have the virtual avatar actually working. And this is literally just the beginning. So Yaro is going to continue to develop and mature over time. He is going to help people work through their stress assessments, their nutrition, work out with them. Imagine Yaro doing push-ups and sit-ups with you, or your workout at home. This is literally just the beginning phases of Yaro, which is pretty exciting.
That's great. So if it can do all of those things in the future, can you change Yaro's voice?
Yes, so eventually Yaro is going to speak French and a few other languages. One of the things with respect to rewards, we're not big fans of reward systems. When we look at everything we do is based on science and research. And so reward systems we wanted to be really careful with. And one of the things that but we also want to have fun with Yaro, and we want our users to keep coming back. So the reward system that we've opted for, eventually, we're going to get people to track their streak, how many days that they're actually coming to do their reflections. The longer the streak means that people are actually doing, they're reflecting daily, and that's the power in it from a mental health perspective and a self-care perspective. And so eventually, the longer your streak is, you're going to start to earn rewards to look after Yaro. Because again, from a self-care perspective and a gratitude, I guess, perspective. When we're engaging in care for ourselves, eventually that care starts to expand to others, and we want to get engaged in helping take care of others. And so you're going to be able to look after Yaro. So you're going to be able to maybe change up Yaro's sweatshirt, change up maybe Yaro takes on a different look altogether. Maybe Yaro, you're right, changes his voice. Maybe you want to treat Yaro Yaro to a day at the spa. Maybe he needs to go for a grooming. All of these things are going to eventually be in place to help increase that engagement, and all the while you are taking care of yourself.
That's great. It would be the personal avatar buddy that all
Yes.
of us need. So would it another question here, would it help Canadians with addiction in particular?
Well, see, yes. The short answer to that is yes. The 12-step program talks a lot about reflections, and over the years, as a healthcare professional, I've worked with a lot of people who struggle with addictions, and their response to me has always been, when I ask them to do the journaling on my Viva plan, they're like, this is so interesting. It's very similar to what this 12-step program is about. And I've never been a part of the 12-step program to know, but it's so. Point is that when you journal, when you reflect, absolutely, as self-care, it comes down to self-care, and it doesn't matter if you're struggling with an addiction, if you're struggling with a chronic health condition, or if you actually want to just simply build that resilience. Take post-secondary students, for example, that are uh, have massive changes in their life, and are venturing out into new beginnings, and feeling really overwhelmed. It can help everybody.
Great. What if my company or an organization is really interested to participating? How can we make it available to them?
Connor is going to send you an email, and he will send you my email address. You can put that in the chat, and feel free to reach out to us, because that we truly want to work with companies. We know everybody is struggling out there, and what we also know as healthcare professionals is that if you have a community and you have that you want to support collectively and within an organization, I we absolutely can help you with that.
Um, there's a question about, does the device being used require a LIDAR sensor or LIDAR? Maybe Valerie or Nathaniel could answer that.
Please. I don't have a clue.
It's a LiDAR sensor. No, it's any cell phone, mobile device, or any device, iPad, whatever that has AR capabilities. And so we make it as general as possible. We're also working on a non-AR version. We think it's more effective to bring Yaro into your space and make more of that connection with him in your physical space. But at the same time, we know that some devices aren't able to use AR, so we'll make it available for those devices as well.
Okay. Thanks, Nathaniel. I certainly don't know those sensors, so I'm glad you're here. Why was there a distinct male voice chosen? And I think we already answered the question about changing the voice. So maybe Val or Laureen could respond to that one.
What was the question? Sorry, why was it a distinct male voice?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Well, when we originally intended the voice to actually be fairly ambiguous. We just knew that we wanted it to be like a very comforting kind of a melodic cadence that would be able to bring people out of their shell. We found that in some studies, voices that were deeper would kind of have the user be a little bit more comfortable, and then therefore be able to speak a little bit better with that voice, which was kind of interesting. We're not entirely sure if that is true. We hope that it does prove true, but we would also in the future potentially have female voices and other other variables for Yaro as we move forward.
Okay, great. So in terms of, again, tracking, I think we talked about this earlier, but I see a few more questions pop up on that. So right now the account is, you don't need to create an account. You basically simply download it. We're in beta testing mode. So you download it on your device, and you're able to use it. And there is no personal information, again, being collected here. So once there is the later version of this, after beta testing is done, then you're able to create an account, and actually that one is probably one that you have to pay a subscription to. That's where you could see your progress and how it would work. I don't know if Valerie or Laureen or Nathaniel want to add anything to it, but there's been lots of questions around that, so I try to just answer that question. If there's anything else you guys want to add. No. Okay.
No, I think that that's good. I guess maybe one question or one piece to add is that you can check out MyViva Inc. And see the subscription costs for MyViva plan on our website at myvivainc.com.
So after the 24 prompts have been answered, once the progress bar is complete at the bottom, what do the next steps look like? So that's one of the questions that's being asked. And again, for time being, this is just, there's no other way to test this unless you launch it publicly. So here we have launched it publicly for you to try it. Again, the next version of this will have that, that will have other interactions with you, and it will show you. Another question is around how do you market Yaro to general public? Laureen, do you want to take that one on?
Mm-hmm. So we are marketing it to on our social media with our partners. We're partners with the City of Edmonton, University of Alberta, Athabasca University. We have reached out to both provincial and federal government, hoping that we can get their support on this once they see Yaro in action. And really, we're doing a media, or pardon me, not a media launch, a press release. I'm like, what's the word I'm looking for? A press release today. So we are going to, we expect to get some stories out of this across Canada. And we really do expect this to be something that is going to interest Canadians. So we've already been feeling a bit of a buzz with it. But as we've said, we're a group of very collaborative individuals and organizations. And so if anybody on the call has wants to collaboratively work with us on this, has any suggestions on where they could see a benefit in us marketing it, or groups to talk to, please let us know. Because we're here, we truly do genuinely want to help all Canadians, no matter where they live, to really get through this pandemic together.
There is a question about if we have friends outside of Canada, can the link be shared with our friends in US or maybe abroad further?
Yes.
Will it work?
Yes. Nathaniel, do you want to confirm that as I just say yes, because I think these guys are superstars. So I just say yes, they can do everything.
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Yeah, so there's a couple questions around, would it be available outside of Canada? If you share the link with somebody living in the US or abroad, South America, Europe, or elsewhere, would it work?
At the moment, actually, it's only this current release version is only for Canada. But I mean, I can make a couple button clicks and make it.
Well, and after the beta testing, because we were hoping to do the beta testing and get some feedback, and then it is going to be an app that is available on iOS and Google Play free of charge, and so that version would be available to anybody anywhere. Is that correct, Nathaniel?
Yes.
So maybe a couple questions that are related. One is, what is the functional vocabulary of Yaro in terms of the number of spoken words it can recognize? And then where do you see this going in 5 years' time? Where do you see this platform being?
Oh, I think that's a really good question for Nathaniel. Nathaniel, you have to talk about that fancy language stuff.
So the when it comes to the functional vocabulary of Yaro, it's linked to the functional vocabulary of Siri and Google. So very wide, large vocabulary. We essentially recognize certain words out of there for our for the Yaro's purposes and specific questions related to the platform. But as far as the functional vocabulary, um, obvi- obviously very wide since it's linked to those large resources. Um, as for 5 years' time, Laurie, would you like to lead that one off and take?
Well, no, because I don't know what I forget the name of the stage phase or the stage 1, 2, and 3 languages that you were talking about that you wanted in with the next version of Yaro. I can't remember what that's called. The linguistic language
Oh,
recognition.
yes. So we do have very ambitious plans for Yaro moving forward, which is linked to our kind of a lot of technology we're developing within the lab, but also is just very new technologies being developed in lots of places worldwide. It's natural language processing is what we'd like to really integrate into Yaro in the next stages. And so um, he can better handle a conversation with you and be more conversational with you.
Mhm. And so, for example, with respect to the self-care, when I really don't want to get out of bed at 6 a.m. to do my workout that I know is good for me because I do better mentally during the day if I work out in the morning, Yaro, when my alarm goes off, it will be able to say to me on my device, Lorene, come on. Get out of bed. You committed to doing this. You're the one that set the goals for yourself to do it. Now get up and get exercising because you know you feel better. And he is going to hound me until I actually get out of bed.
Exactly. The idea of Yarrow learning from your habits and helping you in a more personalized way. Definitely.
And we also had a little bit of a discussion about this prior, which is why I'm bringing it up now. But I think that some people respond better to different kinds of influences. So to be able to have Yaro communicate to you in a way that will motivate you or encourage you, or even if it comes down to it and you're more of a tough love kind of person, you're like, I need somebody to yell at me in the morning so that I get up. That will be something that we would like to build into Yaro as well.
So the idea is this is going to be your virtual buddy that you could set to how it can help your lifestyle, and almost reminds me of precision health, but in a different way of coaching and being your assistant along your way as you get through things through your day and your weeks. Uh,
Exactly.
I know that MyViva is offered at least through some partnerships with some of the institutions for students and managing stress. There's a question here: have you reached out to Northwest College because their student population would benefit from this mental health
Mm.
support?
We have not. And so that is, we had just been getting started. We've done some research at the university. We've been working with Athabasca University as well. And now we're ready to take on working with other post-secondary institutions. So if that is somebody at Northwest College, if they want to put their name in the chat, and we'd be absolutely happy to reach out to them, or if they have a contact that they know that they would like us to reach out to, we certainly can do so.
So how does Yaro go hand in hand with what MyViva platform is?
So Yaro is basically talking individuals through doing their daily reflecting or daily journaling. And so the questions that he asks are exactly the questions in the daily reflection section of MyViva plan. And he's only asking you, we only selected some of the questions. When you actually go into MyViva plan, there are a lot of other questions that you can reflect on that you customize for your own account. So if you say you want to check your blood pressure on a regular basis, or you want to track your steps, or say you you vape or I can't think of one of the other ones that we excluded there. Anyway, the point is that you can customize that list of daily reflection questions. So when we get Yaro connected to be able to download for and link to my Viva plan once we're through our beta testing, the questions that are going to get sent to Yaro are going to be all your customized questions that you've created to answer on a daily basis. And then that data will be uploaded to your account and you will get to see your progress on a daily basis, a weekly basis, monthly, quarterly, and annually.
Great. I don't see any more questions unless I missed something. Oh, maybe there's just one came in. Oh, so how would Yaro respond if a user's indicated an intention of self-harm?
That is an excellent question. And we, through this beta testing, we need to, we haven't solved for that one yet. That is on our list because we want to be really careful with how we solve for that. There are a few things that with the, and maybe Nathaniel, you can maybe speak to this about how Yaro collects the information, but he doesn't necessarily, he's looking for specific answers to those questions, and that's all he's recording. And so that's what the beta testing is all about, is to figure out the answer to that question so that when we do go live, we have that all integrated into the system.
Will there be a guide to help create your own daily questions once that reaches for deeper reflection? I think at this point, what we have with the beta version, no, but that is great question that we could probably consider, right, Laureen, Val, and
Yes.
Nathaniel?
Yep.
Okay. So those are the questions that I could see. I don't see any other questions. We'll keep this open for another couple minutes. But just to reflect on Yaro and my Viva, what you guys have seen today is a true partnership when talent at the U of A come together with entrepreneurship spirit of a local company in Alberta who want to actually change the trajectory of health and health outcome. So this, being working over the summer, I know with the pandemic, not a lot of people could leave their homes and go elsewhere, but this team came together very rapidly, and I was firsthand witnessing this as I encouraged them that we should keep going and do it and do a mental health one. And again, thanks to Roche Canada for providing this funding because it's made it to a reality. And in such a short amount of time, we have seen a project that rises out of just some I would normally say back of the napkin sort of thoughts, but in this case, probably a lot of Zoom and Microsoft Team meetings that put a lot of heads together to come up with what you have. And we had to think about sort of all the privacy information, how to launch this, how will it look, how will it feel to people. So it's a lot of work, but I'm so proud of the people that are on the call today presenting this, both my Viva and Elixir and the U of A. So while I talked, I didn't see any other questions come, but there's one more here.
I saw Martin join, and so I feel like I want to put him on the spot and have him say
For
a
sure.
few words at the end if he's still present. There he is. You're on mute, Martin.
Yeah, I just wanted to congratulate and really echo what Fareed said. This is a phenomenal piece of teamwork between my Viva Plan, U of A, and also Elixir. And I think the potential for this technology is massive and exciting too, because not only do I see the opportunities to develop this from the standpoint of the way the language is communicated, but also I think the relationship that you build with Yaro and the underlying psychology of that relationship, I think is a really interesting scientific undertaking in its own right. And by being as immersive as it is, by being three-dimensional, you can walk around it, that just gives you that special sense of presence that you don't get with a cartoon character. So Val, you know, I know you have really built a close relationship with Yaro over the last 6 months, and remarkable job. Nathaniel, great job on the technology and the programming. Lorene, your leadership in guiding this forward in the area of content and marketing. And Farid, you've been a phenomenal sort of mentor and facilitator of the whole project and your team. So I just wanted to congratulate everyone on a fantastic job and the exciting potential this has for the future.
Thanks, Martin. That's great. Yeah, there is no other questions that I see at the moment. So, is there anything else that the team want to talk about?
Well, I think I saw Michael Duong from Roche. I joined, and I do, I think, want to just say thank you again to Roche Canada for picking our project to fund. You have, we hope we've made you proud, and yeah, we're incredibly grateful that you believed in our vision. So thank you again.
Okay. So if there is no other question, I just want to let everybody know again that if you want a copy of the recording that we've made around this, is made available. You could reach Connor Mahoney. He has posted his contact information, and also if you go to the MyViva plan website, there's further information there. You could download the links to that as well. It's posted in the chat box here, but also at the website. You can download those, and because we're in test mode, they don't quite allow you to have that in the app store in the way that you would normally find it, but that would be probably in a couple months time once this is fully operational. If there is any other questions, please, I see Connor has posted his phone number and his email. Please reach out to him, and he can contact anybody within the team and get back to you. Thanks again for joining us. Thanks for, I know everybody's busy in their schedule, but we had a number of people join today. So we appreciate your time and your focus and all your questions. And we hope to be engaged in the future with you. Thank you very much from all of us, and have a good day.
Final words, no matter what, you are okay. Had to say it. I had to.
Good job. All right. Okay.
Thank you,
Thanks,
everyone. Farid and Val and Nathaniel. Great job, you guys.
Thank you. There's a few more people still left on the call.
I just love Yaro.
We do too.
He's just so awesome.
Great job, everyone.
This is just the beginning.
I know, and that's why I just get so excited about it. It's